Imagine this, you're flying low over the Florida coast, the setting sun catching the sleek silhouette of a Mooney aircraft, its tail sharply angled forward, slicing through the air. The sound of its engine echoes like a whisper of a bygone golden age of aviation. But what if I told you that this beautiful aircraft, this symbol of speed and innovation, is also part of one of the most dramatic roller coaster stories in general aviation history? Today, we're diving into the rise and fall of Mooney, the company that soared faster than most, but also fell harder than many. And the aircraft behind me, that's the Mooney Anomaly, a one-of-a-kind M20F created by Liam Hawkins to inspire and give back. We'll get to the incredible story in a few minutes. Dear friends and followers, welcome back to my channel here from the Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport in sunny Florida. Let's rewind to 1929. Brothers Albert and Arthur Mooney set out to build a revolutionary airplane, the Mooney M5, but timing was cruel. The Great Depression hit and their dreams stalled. The company went dormant. It wasn't until after World War II in 1948 that Albert Mooney reignited that dream in Wichita, Kansas alongside C.G. Yankee. Enter the Mooney M18 Might. Tiny, sporty and ahead of its time. Designed for the returning war pilot, it was a single-seat marvel. But it was the M20 that would change everything. The M20, introduced in 1955, was a bold step forward. 4 seats, retractable gear, an all-metal construction, and that famous tail with its forward-swept vertical stabilizer. Mooney was carving out its own path, quite literally. The early M20 models were elegant but expensive to produce. In fact, the company was losing around $3,000 on each unit sold, and still, by 1959, the M20A and its more powerful Lycoming engine, they sold over 200 aircraft and finally turned a profit. Throughout the 1960s, Mooney was on a tear. The M20 line expanded, the M20B, C, D, and so on, with improved avionics, power, and cabin comfort. And then came a leap of ambition, the M22 Mustang, a pressurized single-engine aircraft. But the Mustang was too expensive, too complex, and only 36 were ever built. It nearly broke the company. By 1969, Mooney filed for bankruptcy. The dream could have ended there, but it didn't. American Electronics Labs and their later Butler Aviation stepped in, hoping to revive Mooney's fortunes. Then in 1973, Republic Steel took the helm, and they made one of the smartest decisions in Mooney's history. They brought in Roy Lopresti. Roy Lopresti was a genius engineer. Under his guidance, Mooney released the M20J, better known as the Mooney 201, named for its 201 mile/hour cruise speed. The 201 combined speed, efficiency, and affordability like no other piston aircraft at its time. Pilots loved it. Orders poured in, and Mooney was back in its game. The success continued with turbocharged models like the M20K 231 and later the 252. By the end of the 1970s, Mooney was thriving again, producing hundreds of aircraft per year. But the 1980s brought turbulence. The general aviation market was hit hard by recession, rising fuel prices, and skyrocketing insurance costs. Mooney's sales plummeted from 218 aircraft in 1982 to just 150 a year later. Then came the ill-fated M301 project, a sleek turboprop prototype that never made it into production. Ironically, it became the foundation for what we know as today the TBM 700, built by Sukata. Ownership changes followed like clockwork. In the mid-1980s, Mooney was acquired by a group of French investors. They pushed forward with new variants like the M20M, TLS, and the M20R Ovation, aircraft that pushed boundaries in performance and style, but the sales weren't enough. The 1990s were a slow burn, and by 2001, Mooney filed for bankruptcy again. Then came a glimmer of hope. AASI bought Mooney in 2002, followed by Allen Holding Finance in 2004. The company focused on refining the M20 line, and then history was made again. Gretchen Yan was appointed CEO, making her the first woman to lead a U.S. aircraft manufacturing company. Under her leadership, Mooney released the M20TN Acclaim in 2006, the fastest piston single at a time, topping out at 237 knots. The Acclaim Type S followed, pushing that number to 242 knots. But in 2008, the global financial crisis hit hard, and Mooney, like much of the GA world, was blindsided. Layoffs began, production slowed to a trickle, and by 2010, the factory was nearly silent. In 2013, a new chapter began. The Meijing Group of China acquired Mooney through its American subsidiaries, Soaring American Corporation. The idea was to build aircraft for both the US and rapidly growing Chinese market. Mooney restarted production in 2014 and introduced the M20U Ovation Ultra and the M20V Acclaim Ultra, both with composite fuselage components and pilot side doors for easier access. But the momentum didn't last. The planned diesel-powered M20 trainer was cancelled in 2017, and despite technical brilliance, sales never recovered. In 2018, Mooney sold just 14 aircraft. By early 2000, that number was only 4. Then came the shutdown in November 2019, employees were furloughed, and for a moment, it looked like the end. But Mooney didn't die. In 2020, a group of Mooney owners and enthusiasts formed US Financial LLC and acquired the company. Since then, the focus has been on supporting the fleet of over 7,000 Mooneys that are still flying worldwide and keeping the brand alive. Whether new aircraft will ever come off the line again remains to be unseen. And that brings us back to the Mooney Anomaly. Owned by Liam Hawkins, this aircraft isn't just about performance or its amazing looks, it's about purpose. Liam used this Mooney to promote inspiration and raise funds for aviation education programs and youth outreach. He's flown missions for charity, brought aviation to unserved communities, and turned a personal project into a beacon of inspiration. It's a perfect example of what Mooney pilots are known for: passion, innovation, and a commitment to flying that goes far beyond numbers. And I was lucky enough to get invited by Liam to take this beautiful Mooney Anomaly to the Bahamas and back. I got to see and feel how fast this plane can go and what it's like to fly a proper Mooney M20F. And it's likely the most recognizable plane worldwide besides Concorde. So what caused Mooney's fall? A mix of things: bad timing, overreaching on research and development, unstable ownership, economic recessions, and a shrinking high-performance piston market. But what makes Mooney so special is that even in its lowest moments, it never truly disappeared. It lives on in the hearts of pilots, in the wings of the Mooney Anomaly, and in every M20 still slicing through the skies today. So the next time you see the Mooney Anomaly, take a picture of it, tag the Mooney Anomaly and me in it, and we'll make sure that the picture will get reposted on both our accounts. That's it for today. If you have some other aviation-related questions, please be sure to check out my other videos or ask in the comment section below for the chance to get your question answered in a future video. Thank you very much for your time. And on that bombshell, here's your checklist for today. Subscribe to my channel, check. Activate your notification bell, check. Follow my Instagram account, check. Perform a touch and go at my website, check. And follow our great Patreon community. We really appreciate that. And don't forget, a good pilot is always learning. Wishing all the best, your Captain Joe. And this in the background was the real Sky Queen, lovely Kristen, who's been doing all the filming today. She actually joined us today on the Bahamas trip. I'm pretty sure I can use you as a flight instructor in the future.
Of course.
Of course.
We'll be happy
we
to.
have a podcast coming out, the two of us, about Kristen's career, basically, as a flight instructor and all her flight training. I'm looking forward to see that as well. Any last words, Kristen, that you can say?
Give me a follow on Instagram, of course. The real Sky Queen.
The real Sky Queen. Not just the real Sky Queen, also the real camera queen. She did all the camera work today. All right, you guys. See ya. All the best.